welcome back to another Spider-Man PS4 video. My name is Cameron, and in this video we're going to be covering some of the brand new details that have just been released for Mary Jane and her role in the game. It's also important to mention that this information is coming from multiple articles, so obviously we have the regular Game Informer article, which is our official information, and then we also have the Telegraph, who conducted interviews with the guys at Insomniac Games, and they made 3 different articles, or maybe even more than that, just on the web swinging and the gameplay and the story, but most of it was already stuff that we already knew about. But from those articles, I will touch on some key points that might have been mentioned just off the cuff in the article, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, if you want to read those full articles, I'll link them in the description below and see what you can pull from them. So getting into it, let's just start off with the Mary Jane details. That was the April 18th reveal from Game Informer. And of course, what's revealed is Mary Jane is working for the Daily Bugle as a journalist. This we pretty much already knew, but they're actually getting into the specifics that she's an independent character. She doesn't wait for Spider-Man to come and save her, and she's not the type of person to tell Spider-Man to stop being Spider-Man because she's worried about him. Obviously, Peter's been Spider-Man for 8 years now, and maybe at first Mary Jane was telling Peter to stop being Spider-Man because she's worried about him, but she's completely past that, and now she kind of just lets Spider-Man do his own thing, and she's completely independent on her own, and I really like that. I was also very fond of how Insomniac said that they are tired of that sort of Mary Jane being the damsel in distress and like doing all this other stuff, because it shows that they are being strict with their own story. This is their Spider-Man game, and that's just so refreshing to see how confident they are to change up the story like that, but at the same time also keep the core qualities of the character. So it looks great. Moving on, so it's mentioned that the gameplay with Mary Jane is more than just random cutscenes throughout the game where you play as her for a little bit and that's it. And what I found really interesting was the fact that they mentioned her arc, and that's got me thinking, will we actually dedicate like a good portion of the game to just playing as Mary Jane? So instead of playing as Mary Jane for like maybe 15 minutes or something, will we be playing as Mary Jane for like an hour and then going back to being Spider-Man and then like doing some more stuff and then going back to Mary Jane, etc.? It's almost as if they're telling us that she's going to have her own story, like completely separate from Spider-Man. And that's just like a great thing to hear. And the way I picture it is more like the Ultimate Spider-Man game, you know, like where half of the game you played as Spider-Man and then like other parts of the game you played as Venom. But what captures my interest even more is when Brian Intihar mentions about the 360-degree superhero experience. Because he mentions when we're playing as Spider-Man, we'll have the sense of strength and agility and web swinging, etc. But as Mary Jane, you'll experience Spider-Man from a different perspective. By the sounds of it, it's like Spider-Man's life continues even though you're not playing as Spider-Man and you're playing as Mary Jane. It just sounds so good. And I'm definitely liking the sound of this alternate take on the perspectives of gameplay. Going on to one of my favourite moments of this Game Informer article was when they revealed that Mary Jane and Peter Parker met in high school, and they've been on and off in a relationship for the last 8 years. Now the reason that's so important is because if I remember in the 616 comics, Peter and Mary Jane didn't actually go to school together, but in the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, Peter and Mary Jane were in high school together, and that's where they started their relationship. So it seems like this game is obviously taking influence from many different sources, one of them pretty much being the Ultimate Universe, which I think is awesome. Obviously, I'm reviewing the Ultimate Spider-Man comics right now. It's my favourite series of all time, and so to see something like this is just great. But that's pretty much all we have on the Mary Jane gameplay and everything. They don't really go into too much detail in terms of gameplay, but they do go into detail about what you can expect from it, and a little bit more about what Insomniac Games is going for and creating Mary Jane's character. So obviously there is a little bit more stuff as to Spider-Man's costume. So it's actually said that the blue areas of Spider-Man's costume is like a flexible material to help him move and everything, and then the red areas are actually thicker, more armored areas, and then of course the white Spider-Man logo that's been brought to us by Insomniac is actually proper armor made out of carbon fiber in order to protect Spider-Man even more against villains like Mr. Negative and criminals like that. Now I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit disappointed to hear that it was just armor, because I was hoping that it was something to maybe counteract Mr. Negative's powers or something, but I don't know, maybe we'll have a bit more of a reveal. But yeah, for now we just know it as armor. It's also important to point out that this suit is also known as the advanced suit in the Spider-Man PS4 game, because obviously you start off the game with the classic Spider-Man costume, and then you get this later on. So yeah, what you're seeing on screen right now is all of these new screen grabs from the game in high quality. The game looks absolutely phenomenal, and of course, if any of you guys are wondering, yes, I will be doing a walkthrough on my channel, and I will also be live streaming the game as well. We also have more concept art to do with the Kingpin and the Mask of the Demons and Mr. Negative and Kingpin's boss level slash room, technically, I suppose, and then of course just some more concept art on some of the criminals and stuff like that. So that's it guys, that's where we're going to end the video video, but if any of you guys are wondering what's happening to my Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions walkthrough, I have said this week that I'm bringing my Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions walkthrough back. We're going to continue it, we're going to finish it, but I was going to record it today. I set everything up, I got the game on, and I can't find the battery compartment for the back of my Xbox 360 controller. It is nowhere to be seen, so literally, I cannot turn my controller on to play the game. So yeah, just in case any of you guys wondering, I will be looking for it and everything. I will be like, I'll maybe even buy a new one just to play the game if it comes down to that. So don't worry, I'll be looking again tomorrow. I'll see if I can find it in the meantime. So if you want to stay updated, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. Links are all in the description. Don't forget, there's more of those articles in the description as well. Hit the subscribe button for more, and I will see you all in my next video. Thank you and goodbye.